Hello and welcome to another Overlord lore video, and today I want to take a look at something really remarkable, namely how Ainz Ooal Gown failed upon becoming an Overlord. But before I do so, let me thank my Patreons for supporting this channel. Also, if you want to learn more about the current housing crisis and why homes are so expensive right now, please check out the video on my other channel. You will find a link to it in the description. And with that said, we will start at the very beginning of all of this. Ainz at first was irritated, because he simply couldn't log out or contact the developers. And this is really important, because thanks to the omnipresent and omnipotent of the surveillance apparatus, as well as thanks to the very fact that he could now smell things, something he literally lacked the physical interface to do so in the game, Ainz came pretty fast to the conclusion that he had been indeed reincarnated into a new world in his old avatar's body. And that's when he first noticed how he managed to stay calm without any real effort. But since he surprisingly calmed himself down, he now could face the situation at hand. And Ainz became quickly worried and a bit afraid, because he was now a normal dude in a new body in the deepest level of the Great Tomb of Nazareth, a guild base filled to the brim with powerful NPCs. So, Ainz decided that he needs allies of his own, and that's when he made the golems of Lemagaton swear fealty to him personally, which succeeded. After that, he went to the 6th floor and won over Aura and Mare for his cause, after making sure that the golems of the amphitheatrum are on his side as well, and that he is still able to cast spells. And with all of these assurances, Ainz felt safe enough to address all of the floor guardians at once. But he still got nervous, in addition to being uneasy and somewhat scared. So in a brief moment he panicked and activated accidentally the skill Aura of Fear level 1, which normally wouldn't have any effect on any of the floor guardians. But since Ainz Ooal Gown had the guild weapon with him, the Staff of Ainz Ooal Gown, the stat boost this item bestowed upon him made it so that Ainz could overpower the mental defense of any of the floor guardians and make them feel fear. After his little speech, he quickly teleported himself away, somewhere on one of the many floors of the tomb, and he noticed that he was scared, and that he felt very unprepared for his role. And the next hours were filled with a sense of curiosity, because Ainz explored the physical and the game mechanical limitations of the new world and noticed how the latter overruled the former. But there was also this constant immense mental pressure on him to function and behave like the dignified overlord of the Great Tomb of Nazareth, something that plagued him even after the 14th novel, and something he tried to escape early by making up an alternate identity as the Black Knight, which failed, because Ainz didn't realize that every NPC could feel who he was. But perhaps the biggest change in character became apparent after Ainz tried to figure out the mirror of remote viewing, and noticed a small village in uproar. Loud voices filled the air, people were running, men on horses chased through the street, and a sense of haste hung heavy over the settlement, which to Ainz Ooal Gown's surprise needed his help, because it was under attack by knights. And Ainz reacted to the situation, to all of the bloodshed, the panic, the crying and dying kids, and the sheer desperation of the helpless and doomed, like any of us would do if I made a video about how one of the federal states of Germany has abolished a certain administrative level on the 1st of January 2005. Pretty uninterested. What has all of this suffering to do with him? What benefit could Nazareth possibly receive just by watching this massacre unfold? What does it matter whether or not the villagers live or die? They are not his people. And besides, Ainz had just arrived in the new world. He didn't know who they were, and in what greater political context any of this stood. And he couldn't tell how strong any of them were. For all he knew, they might be well past level 100, and therefore it had been far too dangerous to intervene. But just as he was about to change the channel, he not only noticed but finally understood what was happening right in front of his eyes. People were dying. And he felt nothing. A few hours ago, he had been human, just like them. And yet he watched them bleed out and die and felt nothing. And only after remembering how Touch Me, one of his dear, dear friends, saved him from a similar fate back in Yggdrasil, he found the motivation to intervene and save these people, because Touch Me would have done the same, and because he felt in debt to his friend. After arriving on the scene, and quite literally breaking the heart of someone he barely knew, it dawned upon him that he became undead not only in body, but also in spirit and mind. On this day, he killed someone for the first time, and still felt nothing. This detachment from humanity also meant that he could face the Sunlight Scripture and analyze their summons, as well as prepare them for questioning by neuronist painkill, rather than attacking them in blind hot rage, or being scared by their claims of the highest level of angels. This level-headedness also allowed him to take most situations with a cold, logical approach, since every emotion, such as anger, joy or pain, was regulated down to barely noticeable levels. And the only times Ainz felt joy and excitement was when he thought about expanding his collection of rare things, unraveling the mysteries of the new world, thinking back to the good times with his friends, or how his actions could benefit the Great Tomb. And so on the Cuts plane, for example, where he was about to kill hundreds of thousands, he felt nothing but excitement, since he was curious how his spell would play out, and how everything would be affected by it. Though it has to be said that his carelessness towards unrelated outsiders had been displayed right from the start, and not just well before Arsha met her fate at the hand of Shaltir. Just remember when Ainz attacked the Lizardman villages, and just barely chose to let them live, because Cocytus begged him for their lives. So in conclusion, Ainz within mere days realized that he has become an overlord, not only in body, but also in mind and spirit. And with that said, I say thank you very much for watching, and special thanks to Ben C, Chrissy, Sia, Death is Mercy, Dystopia the Second, Feral Shivan, Guy with That Head, Hector Marino, Hoss, Haster, Jacob G, Jana B, Jason, Kratos, Chromius, Legendarius, Lelouch V. Britannia with a Mustache, Lexus Fox, Lord Nishikian Rai, Lord Touch Me, Mr. Shoes, Michael R, Michael Y, O'Kill, Paddy Pantum, Primus 11, Shadow Lightning Wolf, Shrine Keeper, Texas Deer, The Orc Warboss, Rock Ed Smasher, T.E. Wang, Vash Hawkeye, Vansher Fanatic, Wilhelm, and Zonagon. Thanks guys. Anyway, have a nice day, and I hope to see you all again soon on my next video. Over and out.